Hi guys, I'm your host Karan and I make videos on dark and creepy stuff. Before we delve into our story, I want to share that I have a massive idea in my hands that I believe will be a hit. But it's a surprise, so I hope you subscribe because I want a large audience to share it with. Additionally, I don't have that kind of budget, so please support me. I promise to give you something that will blow your minds. This story comes from a Reddit page in which a police officer tells his story while keeping his identity anonymous because it is not professional to talk about paranormal things in this field. So let's find out what he discovered in his investigation that still gives him goosebumps thinking about it even after so many years. One overcast morning, my partner and I responded to a call of a possible burglary at a single family home not far from our station. So, before we begin, let me explain the structure of the house. In this city, most of the houses are in a row house setup, meaning that all the houses share a common wall. These kinds of houses are built specially for single family occupancy. On the ground floor, there is a garage and a separate area that is used for storage purposes, but most of the owners rent out that room. The upper floor is the residence floor where the homeowner lives. So, now getting back to our story, the elderly lady living alone there was terrified and she threw her keys down to us from her upstairs window because she was afraid of navigating through her house to open the front door for us. As she does this, we take a look outside and see no signs of any kind of forced entry. The home has a front gate and everything appears perfectly secure. We get inside and do a quick walkthrough of the upstairs. At this moment in my story, we have only checked out the upstairs residence and have not yet accessed the garage downstairs. So the lady goes ahead to tell us that she was sitting upstairs when suddenly somebody begins banging on the interior door leading down into the garage and rattling the door handle. Large bangs and violent door handle shaking. This door is similar to any interior door leading down into a basement. The garage can only be accessed via this door, the main automatic garage door outside, and the small exterior door on the side of the house. She is obviously frightened and believes that someone has gotten into the garage and is now trying to break into her residence. She calls 911 and my partner and I show up. With this info, we ask for another unit to begin making its way towards our location. Ask to clear the radio traffic for a moment while we sweep the downstairs. The meaning of clearing radio traffic is that no other signals will interrupt between Unit 1 and Unit 2 so that they can communicate with each other without interruption. We pull out our weapons and flashlights, open the door, and descend into the pitch dark downstairs. What we find is a time capsule. The entire downstairs area is a testament to the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Lots of dust, but otherwise perfectly preserved food and beer cans, advertisements, books, and magazines from the year past. The automatic garage door was no longer operational, and a large old pristine Cadillac sat there looking like it never left the lot. We found a closed door in the back and it led us into an old, clearly unused in-law unit with vintage furniture and appliances. The place looked like it belonged to a madman. Dust everywhere again, but what spooked me was the in-law unit's bedroom. It looked as if someone got up, walked out to do some errands, and never came back. Clearly, an old couple's room, with framed black and white photos on the wall, personal items like combs, brushes, makeups, and jewelry kit on the dresser, old suits, hats, dresses, and nightgowns in the closet. We searched in every conceivable place for a person to be hiding and we found nothing. All entrances and windows locked and secure. No footprints, no dust disturbed, nothing. I have been to many burglaries and many home invasions and I have never seen a place with no sign at all of an intruder. I don't know what caused it, but while we were in that bedroom, Every hair on the back of my neck was standing straight up. I searched some of the places over again because I just knew someone was watching me, but there was no one there. At this point, we cancel the other responding unit and open the radio traffic back up. And as we are leaving, we run into the homeowner's friend. Turns out she had called him too, a firefighter from the next town over. And he had arrived while we began our search. He verified that this wasn't the first time that this has happened, and that he had seen it too. He would not venture any thoughts into what it could be, despite my prodding. Could someone have broken in and left zero sign of their presence? Sure, but in my experience, I can't see how. Could the homeowner have been suffering from dementia? Again, sure, but she was sharp as a tack and did not strike me as someone with an age related mental condition. Her friend verifying it really ended that theory for me. Whatever happened, she was scared enough of it for me to believe she truly experienced it. As my usually not so chatty partner and I left that place, as we got back to our car, he just says, I don't know, man, do you believe in ghosts? That was pretty much the end of that conversation, but this incident really still sticks with me. Did I deal with a haunting that morning? Or with the most impressive magician of a burglar the world has ever seen, who didn't even steal anything? Who knows, but it sure was creepy. As we drove away, the sky seemed to darken further, and an eerie silence filled the car. We didn't turn on the radio, lost in our own thoughts. I couldn't shake the feeling that we had missed something, some crucial detail. Later that night, I decided to do a bit of research on the house. What I found was surprising, but not entirely unexpected. The house had once belonged to an elderly couple who were known to be very reclusive. According to some local records and old newspaper clippings, they had passed away within a year of each other's in the year 1980s. The husband had died of a heart attack, and the wife, overcome with grief, had become a recluse, rarely seen by neighbors until her passing. The house was left to their only child, who had moved out of state and never returned to sort through their belongings. The next day at the station, I shared my findings with my partner. He looked pale, and after a long pause, he confessed he had seen a shadow move in the corner of the bedroom the previous day, but didn't mention it because he thought that it was his imagination. We both knew we couldn't explain what we had experienced, but it left us with a sense of unease that lingered for weeks. I don't know if we encountered a haunting that day or if the house simply had a way of playing tricks on our minds. But one thing is certain, I will never forget the look in that elderly lady's eyes, a mixture of fear and resignation, as if she knew the house held secrets that were better left undisturbed. In the weeks that followed, strange things began to happen at the station. Files went missing, only to reappear in the oddest place. Doors we knew we had closed were found ajar. One night, the security camera caught a fleeting shadow moving through the hallways, but no one could explain it. My partner and I exchanged uneasy glances whenever these incidents were brought up, but we never spoke of the house again. Months later, I drove by the house out of curiosity. It was still empty, the yard overgrown, and the windows dark. As I sat there, I could have sworn I saw a figure standing in the upstairs window, watching me. I blinked, and it was gone. I drove away quickly, my heart pounding. I knew then that whatever lingered in that house was something beyond my understanding. Maybe some places hold onto their past so tightly that they refuse to let go. Or maybe, just maybe, some spirits are not ready to move on. Either way, I made a promise to myself to never go back. Some doors, once open, are better left closed. And with this, the story comes to an end. I hope you all enjoyed this story. And if you want me to share incidents that have happened with you, I can provide a Gmail account next time. Just let me know in the comments. I will upload the next video soon. Until then, stay safe and healthy.